Good morning. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word. I'm Barry Bryson. We're going to hopefully finish the text of Second Timothy today. We're in chapter 4, verse 9. It may take a couple of days. There's just so much detail in these verses. Um, this is part of our larger study of the martyrdom of Peter and Paul and the last letters they wrote. And in both letters, both men are aware of the nearness of their deaths, their martyrdom. Um, and we'll see that today. But I do want to commend to you the goodbyes in all of the letters of the New Testament, because the goodbye portions, do not just read over those. Take the time and pull out your concordance or get online with your logo software. Pull out your Anchor Bible Dictionary, and do the research, because the goodbyes are just a treasure trove of information that let us piece together biblical timelines and 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 what's happening in the moment, where people are, what they're doing. It really fleshes out our understanding of who was where and what was going on. It helps us reconstruct the history, that is the background, the Zitzim Leben of of these letters. So let's read chapter 4, beginning with verse 9 through the end of the chapter. And we'll get started. Maybe this will take 2 sessions. Make every effort to come to me soon, because Demas, having loved this present world, has deserted me and gone to Thessalonica. Crescens has gone to Galatia, Titus to Dalmatia. Only Luke is with me. Pick up Mark, bring him with you, for he is useful to me for service. But Tychicus I have sent to Ephesus. When you come, bring the cloak I left at Troas with Carpus, and also the books, especially the parchments. Alexander the coppersmith did me much harm. The Lord will repay him according to his deeds. Be on guard against him yourself, for he vigorously opposed our teaching. At my first defense, no one supported me, but all deserted me. May it not be counted against them. But the Lord stood with me and strengthened me, in order that through me the proclamation might be fully accomplished, and that all the Gentiles might hear that I was delivered out of the lion's mouth. The Lord will deliver me from every evil deed and will bring me safely to his heavenly kingdom. To him be glory forever and ever. Amen. Greet Prisca and Aquila and the household of Onesiphorus. Erastus remained at Corinth. Trophimus I left sick at Miletus. Make every effort to come before winter. Eubulus greets you, also Pudens and Linus and Claudia, and all the brethren. The Lord be with your spirit. Grace be with you. I think I want to start today, and maybe this will take 2 sessions, by focusing on what Paul tells us about his condition. He knows death is near, and he's worried that Timothy will not get there before he dies. He has sent Tychicus to Ephesus to backfill. You know, you can go ahead and leave if you get this letter. I've already sent your replacement, somebody to stay there while you come to me. And we also notice that he has also already sent to Ephesus Priscilla and Aquila. Towards the end of his career, before he had gone to Rome, and probably right before he was arrested, when he was still in Corinth, before he got to Jerusalem with the offering for the saints, when he wrote to Rome, to the city of Rome, not too many years earlier than this, he greeted Priscilla and Aquila because they were in Rome. Evidently, when he got to Rome, Priscilla and Aquila were there, and he sent them back to Ephesus so they could be there with Timothy. That says a lot. about Paul and about Timothy, because Priscilla and Aquila are his advanced team. They're kind of his troubleshooting team. They since he met them in Corinth, they have been as close to him in his work as anyone else have been, and he's already sent them back to Ephesus because he gives them greeting in Ephesus in verse 19, and he sends them greeting in Rome in the book of Romans. So he sent them back already. So Paul is making arrangements to take care of Ephesus so Timothy can come before winter. If he doesn't come before winter, he's not going to come till the next year. Travel is just not going to be possible. And so he needs him to skedaddle. He needs him to not procrastinate. There are things that Paul needs. And, I need you to stop at Troas. Troas is on the way, and it's not very far. As Timothy travels from Ephesus to the coast, he's going to come to Troas. So I need you to stop at Troas. I need you to go to Carpus's house. I need you to pick up my coat, and I need you to bring my books and my writing material. So Paul, if he has the time given to him, he needs his books, which would have been scrolls. Doubtful they would have been folios. They would probably have been scrolls. Although the book, as as a piece of technology, that's bound with pages, it was developed in the first century and probably developed by Christians for containing texts. So maybe he means maybe there are books as well as scrolls, but he wants those things that have already been written, and he wants writing material to be brought to him. We also know that he has already faced death. He talks about the fact when at his first defense. Now that's not the defense before Caesar that puts him under house arrest. This is a defense as a Christian after the burning of Rome. And for some reason, he was not thrown to the beasts. We know from Roman sources, particularly from the annals of Tacitus, that Christians were sewn into animal skins and fed to the wild beasts in the Colosseum. Well, the Colosseum is not being built yet. I mean, it is being built, it's not finished yet. But for public amusement, for public sport, um, and and uh, and he escaped that. Why? I don't know. Maybe because he's a citizen, but many Christians were citizens. I don't know. But when he says the lion's mouth, people try to make that metaphorical, and I don't think it's metaphorical at all. I think that he initially was to be thrown to the wild beasts that way, and then someone changed their mind and stuck him back in jail. But anyway, uh, he, but he said the Lord stood with me. He has a real sense of Jesus' presence in Paul's writings. And our dear brother and elder Ron Higginbotham, perhaps the most intelligent person I've ever known, um, did a wonderful study about Paul's use of the word Lord and demonstrated that the word Lord, which in Paul's day the Jews were using as code for Yahweh, because they wouldn't say the name Yahweh. In fact, they were getting to where they wouldn't say the word Adonai, Lord. That the word Lord in Paul's writings only ever refer to Jesus himself. And so he has a real sense, the way Stephen, the first martyr, saw Jesus standing at the right hand of God. Well, Paul feels Jesus standing next to him. The Lord stood with me. He stood next to me. He strengthened me. And I was able in the moment to not just endure the moment, but to use it as a moment of preaching so that they might hear the truth. And the Lord will deliver me from every evil deed and bring me safely to his heavenly kingdom. He has that confidence. He's reiterating it here. To him be glory forever and ever. Amen. So we have a doxology here and an amen. And that really is kind of the end of the letter, except for the PS say hi to, which is in verses 19 through 22. I've taken nearly 10 minutes of your time, and we haven't even talked about the cast of characters, so we'll do that next time. Thank you for joining me for another 5 good minutes with the Word.